Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking a little bit more about some of the stuff that we got previously from one of our subscribers, Richard David, some of that weird and awesome stuff that we got in the mail from him. And today we will be talking specifically about these little things over here. Some of you guys had some ideas of what these actually were, but in this video we will actually talk about what these are exactly. So stick around. Okay, so if you guys don't remember, about 2 weeks ago, we got a whole bunch of different things from one of our subscribers, Richard David. We got some books, we got some USBs, we got a little DVD, we got these things obviously, and we even got some seeds, which most of you guys have watched in our previous video as well. So if you guys do want to check this out, make sure that you watch those videos after this video. But yeah, just letting you guys know about some of the weird stuff that we got. And of course, one of the things that we got in the mail was this. Now, I had absolutely no idea what these were. I had no clue, how they worked, what they do. Literally, I had no clue what they are at all. And they came in this little type of pot thing here. It looks like it's backwards for you guys. But anyway, it says made in 1993. So, as you guys could obviously tell, these are quite old. They are older than me. I know some of the subscribers, you guys laugh at me when I was talking about how old the books were. But yeah, anyway, these are practically talking for like a pot or something. They're a little bit old. And you can really tell that because some of these pieces over here are no longer glued together. They're kind of breaking apart. The actual plastic here, you can see it's coming apart, like the plastic itself has split. So half of it is still stuck onto this mesh, but the other half is not. So yeah, anyway, we got these two things in the mail and I had absolutely no idea what they were. I originally thought that these were used to catch bugs, or maybe if the bug is on my hand or something, or like my hand is a table, you put it over the bug to catch it, or maybe you put it on top of a plant if it's flowering to prevent insects from pollinating it. I had lots of different ideas, but I actually had no idea. So the only way that I knew to actually find out what these were was to obviously ask Richard David himself. And he told me what these are, and I'm not going to reveal what they are to you guys just yet. Eventually, I got these out the mail. I fixed them up a little bit because, as I said, it was a little bit broken, so I just moved it back into place. And I found out from Richard David what these were exactly. And this is actually super, super interesting. It is very, very cool what these actually are. And it's a really, really great idea too. As I said, I'm not going to spoil it just yet. But if you guys do remember from that video, we also got a second package in the mail. We got 4, and I think it was the first one that we actually opened up, we got this. Now, I had no idea what these were, what this stuff was either, and obviously some of you guys had some ideas, but none of them were actually correct. And once again, I had no clue what these were. They were sent, I think, a day or two after the whole, the main packages, like all the other stuff. But they're all right at the same time, which is, obviously it's great. But these came afterwards. And I had no clue what they were. As I've said, I had no idea what they were. I don't know what they're meant to be. Why do we have, O-rings from a PVC pipe? And why do we have this metal plate? Now, I did not even think about it or, realize that these actually kind of go together. So you guys might be realizing what this is by now, but if you weren't sure, as you can tell, the top of this pot is made out of this green plastic. So it's made out of this PVC, and obviously here's some PVC and here's a plate. So you can tell that this has something to do with the pot, but what does the plate have to do with it? So what you're actually supposed to do is that you take the PVC, you boil it in the water, get it nice and soft, and then you wrap it around these, metal fittings over here, and that lets it cool down in this specific plate, in that shape, so that you have a PVC piece that is the shape of a square. And then obviously you're gonna have, 2 of them. Here we have about 2. One for the top, one for the bottom, and then obviously again at the bottom. And then now you guys are still wondering, so what the hell is this? And this is a pot, guys. This is actually a pot for plants. And the awesome thing about it, the very, very cool thing about it is that obviously it's made out of this netting, if you guys couldn't tell. This netting is super, super great for the plants, our carnivorous plants, because our plants, they love lots of water, and they love water moving through their roots, going through the pots all the time. And the thing is, with normal pots, you just don't have as much drainage. In a normal pot, all you have are the holes at the bottom. But in these pots, you can see that even though they're literally the same height and almost the same width, you guys can see that this one has much more drainage and ability for water to move through the pot than this one does. So what does this mean really for our plants? Well, obviously, it's still great to grow your plants in these pots. These pots will still work perfectly fine, but this pot gives you better drainage and obviously in return, a better water movement for your plants, and it gives the plants as much water as it needs. It helps to remove any minerals or whatever that may build up in the pot. And this is something that could work really, really well for some different types of plants, for example, utricularia. Because those guys, they love to, have their roots growing down with lots of water around them because they have microscopic traps. So yeah, they would love a lot of water getting to them. And this is something that could work super, super well for them. And even if you think about it, if you have one of these type of mesh things like this, and you could even cut some holes in the side, and then you could get some cephalotus growing out of the sides of a pot like this. Or even if the holes are big enough, if you have it full of soil, you put a cephalotus at the top, they'll grow their stolons out of these little holes here. So this is a lot of potential. This is actually super, super cool. And even for plants like Darlingtonia or Nepenthes, plants that love net pots, plants that want a lot of air getting into the pot, these will work really, really well too. And the thing about these is that I'm pretty sure that making these little pots are going to be much cheaper than actually buying the net pot from the big box stores, the department stores, the warehouses, because this is made out of some screening and obviously some PVC from a pipe, and you cut it yourself and you just glue it all on together. So I'm pretty sure that it turns out to be a little bit or maybe a lot cheaper to actually make these customizable, whatever size you want, rather than going to the shop and buying pre-made pots like this. But I haven't done the math on it, so I'm not really sure. But this is super, super interesting. So what we're gonna do in this video is that we're gonna take our PVC rings and we are actually gonna make them into those square pieces for our future square pots, because some of you guys may or may not know this, but I really don't like round pots. I really don't like them because they're round, they waste space and they don't look neat. So that's why our subscriber Richard David actually made this plate for us. He made it to be square because he knows that I don't like round pots. So once again, thank you very, very much. So as I said, let's get these ready and let's make some of our square PVC rings or PVC squares. Okay guys, so the first thing that we need to actually do with our PVC little pieces here is that we actually need to, in inverted commas, clean them, because they have been cut, but they're still quite rough around the edges. These two here, Richard David, he did smooth them out already for us, but for these ones, we just need to smooth them out a little bit and get rid of all these extra pieces. So let's do that real quick. And of course, as you guys can tell, what we need to do is that we need to get these nice and soft, so that they can actually bend around the metal bits that we have here, or else they're literally not going to form and they're not going to go straight or get square at all. So you need to soften them up first. So let's go clean these up and put them into the boiling water. Okay guys, so here is our pot. Obviously it's pretty warm. I haven't turned up the heat all the way just yet because I didn't want it to boil while I was busy, but it is still pretty hot. So I'm just turning up the heat now, and it should, start boiling pretty quickly. Okay, so the pot is basically boiling now. I'm going to drop these guys in and let the water start boiling again, and then leave them in for a couple minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. And then what I will do is I'm going to take it out of the water and I want to try to stretch it around this metal piece that you guys can see in the background. I don't know how well this will or won't work. Obviously, it's the first time I've ever done something like this. Well, you know, putting PVC rings on top of something metal like that. But we'll see how it goes, so wish me luck, guys. Okay guys, so it's been boiling now for like a minute or two, and you can see these rings are like very like spaghetti like, if that makes sense. So make sure that you don't eat these because they do look quite good. But anyway, we will now move down there onto that metal bit. Ooh, that's not a nice sound. But I'm going to put them on top of this metal bit. Hopefully you guys will be able to see me struggling in the background here. Yeah, and I'll leave this to boil so they can get extra soft. But let's just try this out. I don't know how well this will or won't work. Yeah, so these rings definitely need to be much softer than what they currently are. So I will leave these to boil for a little bit longer, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay guys, and it's been a couple more minutes now. I don't think much has really happened, but let's try it again. I'm gonna put this around this. This is not gonna work. The PVC is too thick, so I can't really stretch it around that plate. And also the PVC is not really getting soft enough, if that makes any sense, because of how thick it is, and PVC just doesn't really want to stretch out. I'm doing this, and you guys might be able to see this as I pull. The whole plate itself bends. Maybe a bit like this. So yeah, anyway, I don't know how this is gonna happen, guys. I really am kind of stuck with this. Let me try to figure something else and I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, I think I figured it out. So the issue that we were having is that I was obviously taking them out of the water and then trying to put them over this metal plate in the background. But the thing that was happening was that by the time I had taken them out of the water and moved there, the PVC had already cooled down so much that it was not flexible anymore, if that makes sense. But hopefully you guys should be able to see this. If I take a bigger pair of scissors and I try and extend it while inside of the water, it's actually very stretchy. Don't know how well you guys can see this. You guys can kind of see how stretchy it is. So what I will do is that I will hold it this stretchy here in the water, and then try as quickly as I can to move it over onto the metal plate. So let's give that a go. Okay guys, once again I was too slow, but I am onto something over here. Check how it's solidified. So let me try it again. It's forming, it's going back to its original shape. Okay guys, so I think what we will need to do is that we're gonna have to use a bigger pot. We're gonna have to put this metal plate into a bigger pot so that this can be submerged as well, so we could actually stretch it around this thing while it's all underwater, and then take the plate out, put it outside and let it cool down like that. That's the only thing that I can think of, because check this out guys. The moment I take the PVC rings out of the water, they immediately solidify. You see, I just made it like an A out of this thing, and it's hard now. I can't unbend it. It goes straight back to this. So we're gonna have to do this inside of the water, because literally the moment I pull it out, it immediately solidifies. So we're gonna have to do something about that, because I don't have a pot that is any bigger than this. So let's put that back in, and should be able to see it go back to normal. So yeah, I don't know really what to do besides getting a bigger pot. Maybe I'm missing something, like some critical specific fact about this or something, But I will talk to Wretched David and ask him what he used to do, because maybe he does something a little bit different. Maybe he uses like a hairdryer or something that makes warm air like that. So we will see what we will do. Anyway, I'll put this back, I'll pack it away for now, and I'll come back to it with you guys. But essentially, we make these rings into little squares, and then we get some of that mesh and we cover it. We cover the squares with this mesh, and we can have these really nice net pots which can be used for many different plants, especially plants such as Nepenthes and Darlingtonia, and even some of the Utricularia, which loves to have water movement. And some of them who don't like as much water and like a little bit more air, will work for them perfectly as well. So let's go pack these away and let's continue talking about something else. Okay guys, so there you have it, our failed experiment with our pieces of PVC here. You can see this one's still all messed up because obviously the water's now cold. It didn't get to melt back into its normal shape. But anyway, that's how you make these cool little net pots. And obviously you can make big sizes, small sizes, you can make different shapes. These ones are obviously hexagonal, which means that you could put them all like honeycomb kind of shape, which is quite cool. So yeah, you can make any shape that you guys want for your pots. And obviously it will be really good for your plants. And I'm quite upset that it didn't actually work. I wasn't expecting them to not work, because that's what the whole point of this video was going to be. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know about what these pots actually are, what they do, what they mean, because some people, you know, got a little bit confused as to what they were, just like I did, because they are quite strange. You won't really know what they are unless someone tells you, or if they're in the shops and it says net pots underneath them with their price or something. That's the other way. But anyway, in the next video, what we will do is that we will open up these USBs here and we will see what is actually loaded on them. Wretched Davian said that there are some really interesting pictures on here and some videos and some voice recordings too of obviously the carnivorous plants that he has found in his area. And this is something that I really am looking forward to, because he is obviously someone who has made lots of pictures for the carnivorous plant newsletters. We actually got one of the old carnivorous plant newsletters of Australia. He sent us one of them. So he obviously made pictures for those newsletters back in the day, before we had, you know, modern phones and forums and whatever else that we have these days that are all online. So we have some nice pictures on this, and I'm super excited to open these with you guys for the first time together. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you guys can actually see that. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you guys an update of our plants outside, because they're growing super well right now. They're actually getting pretty big. Even our little Drosophilum seeds that we planted up together, they're about 1 inch in size now, because they're actually quite quick growers. But obviously there's no light outside, so I can't show you. So make sure that you guys do subscribe so you guys can be updated on that. But I'll see you guys in the next episode.